in a lot of places this morning, but I've been reassured that all of our scriptures are on the board, and they're going to keep up with me best they can. So, get some manual. It's been a good week. We didn't mention Ginger this morning in our time of prayer, but I went with Ginger down to Winston-Salem twice already this month. We went down on Wednesday and spent about 4 hours down there, and they're going to get ready to do a skin graft, and they weren't able to fix the entire issue when she went through the surgery, so there is still going to be a little bit of a week. It's still going to be, she's going to be dealing with for the rest of her life, but it's not going to be anything like it was. So they're going to schedule the skin graft, she's going to go in for another surgery, and as soon as I have the information on that, we're in Romans chapter 4. We'll be looking at verses 1 through 25 this morning. It's an important part of our text. Last week we saw the indictments that were written against us, and we listed all 14 indictments that were against us from Romans chapter 3. And on all 14 counts, as illustrated in Romans 3, 10 through 18, we are found to be guilty. If we look at that indictment, yep, that's me. I fit it to a T. I'm guilty. Now, we understood in all our study before that if we're guilty of sin, then we're deserving of death. But there's been a transition that we looked at. And when we were standing in the court of God, and the verdict is being issued, and we have to go, and all the evidence is stacked against us, and we're getting ready to say, okay, how do you plead? Well, I'm guilty, I did it. And the judge says, not guilty. Everybody has a conniption fit because we want to see somebody go down and suffer and pay for all this nonsense that they've done and all this chaos that they've created, and God stands and says, not guilty. And the one on trial says, thank you, Jesus. And then says, I don't understand. I know what that person was like the last 15 years. If you knew Carl Hoyer the way I knew Carl Hoyer, God would have never said that. Amen. I know. I'm just the only one. I'm the only one that would ever have that attitude against anybody. I know. So we've been deserving of death, but because of our faith in Jesus Christ has been a game changer, now we're deserving of life. And we want to point out all of these lists of sin that were nailed to the cross. The handwriting of ordinances that were against us, he took them away by nailing them to the cross. And now he's at the cross and says, no, all I see is the righteousness of Carl Hoyer. Carl Hoyer doesn't have any righteousness. No, not in and of himself, he doesn't have any righteousness. But God says, no. There's been this element of faith, the seed of faith, and now Carl is deserving of life, and I'm going to eliminate, eradicate, wipe out that death sentence that's been against him because of the accusing that's been coming forward. Because, yeah, he admits that he's done some things, but there was this element of faith. Now, I'm using myself as an example because it's safe that way. I could use James, I could use Tracy, I could use Gary, but I don't want to pick on anybody except myself this morning. But we are all deserving, we were all deserving of death. Now we are deserving of life because all he sees is his righteousness. Amen. That's all he sees. Amen. Now how do you get God to see all that? Well, that's a good question. That's what we're getting into. Y'all ready? Yeah? You ready?
Ready.
Okay, good. Now, Romans 3:23. This is the beginning of the Romans Road. We're going to have some more signs put up here in the next couple of weeks. But Romans Road, Romans 3:23, very simple verse, says this. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. That's what it says. So now the question is, if you're going to boast about anything, what I say we can boast about, who's been a bigger sinner than the other sinner? I don't want to boast in that. Well, I can out-sin you, but I don't want to try. All right? All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. You may think you have arrived. You may talk like you've arrived. You may act like you're some superior super Jesus giant. But the fact remains that the have truly arrived on our own is in the state of sinfulness. It's 50%. The state of sinfulness. And in that state of sinfulness, the jurisdiction of God still has absolute supreme authority. And we are served our indictments, and in the courtroom of God, the righteousness of God is being revealed. Look at Romans chapter 3, verse 21 through 22. And this speaks of how his righteousness is revealed. Now look, but now the righteousness of God, apart from the law, so see it's separated. We have the law finds us guilty, but the righteousness of God, which is very separate and very different from the law, is revealed. Being witnessed by the law and the prophets, even the righteousness of God through faith in Jesus Christ to all, now look at this, and on all. Amen. It's to you, but on. It's on you. Righteousness of God is on you. Righteousness of God covers you. It's an umbrella. The righteousness of God on all who what? Believe. For there is no difference. Got it? There's no difference. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, but all who believe, they're covered by the righteousness of God. There's no difference. All is all. All who believe, they're all covered. All who don't, well, they're falling short. That's it. All is all. All right? The evidence is displayed for all to see the witness of the law. We're going to see Abraham and we're going to see David today in the text. We will be looking at the righteousness of these two Old Testament figures here this morning. But Abraham, we know to be the father of the Hebrew nation, and Jews like to leave it at that. Oh, he's the word. Abraham's our father. Yeah. By the way, newsflash, he's my dad too. What? What are you talking about? You're a pagan Gentile, Carl. You got nothing. You don't know your Bible. Amen. You think you know the law? No, I'll show you the law. All right? No. Father Abraham had many sons. Y'all know that song? Father Abraham had many sons had Father Abraham, and I am one of them, and so are you! So let's just praise the Lord. Right arm, right foot, left foot, head up, head down, turn around, sit down. You guys know all that fun stuff? I can teach you some of that somewhere, I tell you. So Father Abraham had many sons, I am one of them, and so are you! So what do? We just praise the Lord. Why? Because it had nothing to do with us, and it was because we had faith, and we believed. He said, oh, in that case, now you're covered in righteousness. Yeah, Abraham's your great grandfather, 420 generations, whatever it is. This stuff is getting exciting. So we know Abraham to be the father of the Hebrew nation, but it doesn't just stop there. That was just the beginning. All right? Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 through 3. Let's look at Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 through 3. It says this. Now the Lord had said to Abram, who's Abraham, but this is before he got his awesome name changed. Now the Lord had said to Abram, get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house, to a land, now look at this, that I will show you. Get away from everything you know, everything you're comfortable with, and rely on me, and I'm going to show you a greater, more excellent way. Oh, what? It's never been done that way before. Good. All right? God says, we're not going to play it safe with you, Abraham. We're going to do something a little different. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. This is what God's saying to Abraham. I don't think he's just sitting there sipping his coffee saying, oh, okay, this is interesting. God's got his attention. I will bless those who bless you. I will curse him who curses you, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Wait a minute. In you, all the families of all of the earth, they're all going to be blessed, and the Jews picture here. Father Abraham had many sons. I am one of them, and so are you. So what are we going to do? Praise the Lord. Amen. Why? Because that's our element of faith, covered in his righteousness. A common misconception amongst the Jews is that Abraham was a keeper of all the law. Cool. You think. But they want to brag and say he was a keeper of the law even before Mount Sinai when he received the law. No, he wasn't. That's impossible. You can't abide by something that didn't exist. 400 years later. All right? So before it was ever given on Mount Sinai. So Genesis 26, 1 through 5, because it's important to look at all of this in its proper context. Genesis 26, verse 1 through 5 says, there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham, and Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, and grew up. Then the Lord appeared to him and said, do not go down to Egypt. Live in the land which I shall tell you. Dwell in this land, and I will be with you, and I will bless you, for to you and your descendants I give all of these lands, and I will perform the oath which I swore to Abraham your father, and I will make your descendants multiply as the stars of heaven. I will give your descendants all these lands, and in your seed all of the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. And so because of that phrase, well, Abraham did this, and this, and he kept my voice, and he kept my charge, and he kept my commandments, my statutes, and my laws, then the Jews interpret the word all. No, he didn't keep all of them, but God was not looking at Abraham's to-do list, and did you check this off, did you check this off, did you check this off? No. He looked at this element of faith. Abraham, you dropped the ball more times than I can count. You've made a real fool out of yourself sometimes, but I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the fact that you had faith in me, and when I told you to do something, you said, it doesn't make any sense, it doesn't compute, it doesn't register, everybody thinks I'm nuts, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Because you said so, and I'm banking that you're somebody I can count on. Amen. Amen. That's what faith is. Now the text of Genesis 26 does reveal that Abraham did keep some things. But it does not mean that he did all things flawlessly. And we need to keep in mind that when we read our Bible and we read about the giants of the faith and all these great historical figures, keep in mind one specific thing. They're all sinners. Nobody did everything perfectly all the time except for one, and that was Jesus Christ. Everybody else we read about, they're a bit as messed up as you and I are. They've all sinned. They've all fallen short of the glory of God. Every single one of them. But Abraham was justified by faith and not by his adherence to the law. So Romans chapter 4, verse 1 through 4, we're going to look at this. Me too. Abraham was justified by faith, not by his adherence to the law. You ready? Romans chapter 4, verse 1 through 4. Here we go. What then shall we say that Abraham, what does Paul say? Our father. What then shall we say that Abraham, our father, has found according to the flesh? For if Abraham was justified by works, he has something to boast about, but not before God. For what does the Scripture say? Abraham believed God, and it was accounted to him for righteousness. What? The Bible says that? Yeah, Genesis 15:6. We'll get there in a second. Now to him who works, the wages are not counted as grace, but as debt. Because if it's all about what you've done, and there's a ledger of, well, you've done this, 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 then what happens when they come to the checkpoint of something you haven't done? Well, yeah, you did all this, but look what you didn't do. And you didn't do this either. What about that? math. And now the funny thing is, look, you always need math. You need math every day of your life. And the teachers would always say, what are you going to do? Walk around with a calculator on you all day long? No, I got a cell phone. I don't need a calculator. It does all my thinking for me. They didn't know it was coming. Math. Calculator. All right. Jewish tradition must give way to the clear statements of Scripture. Some of our ways of thinking, doing, and illustrating are based on personal preference and tradition. Not us, we're Baptists. We would never hang anything on tradition. Wow. But we need to, just like the Jews, likewise, give way to the clear statements in Scripture. What do we see clearly in Scripture here? That Abraham is a man of faith, and it was accounted, or for those that love math, credited to him for or as righteousness. Wait, faith in the ledger, that's accounted, hence that's a credit. So it doesn't matter what he did do over here on this side. Oh, faith. Got it. Check. Deserving of life. Got it? Now, the Jews believed he was the ultimate law-abider, but according to Scripture in Romans 4:4, he who works, the wages are not counted or accredited as grace, because grace comes through faith, not works. And so if it's coming, and they're going to be looking at it that way, then it's not about grace, now it's a debt. You owe a debt, you owe up because you dropped the ball, and you're lacking, and you're in need. Well, what do you expect? Romans 3:23 says, all of sin and fallen short of the glory of God. So you're going to hold me hostage for dropping the ball? Well, you're dropping the ball. Everybody drops the ball. Now we can just compare who's dropping the ball worse according to our understanding of what the ball is, who's dropping it worse than the other person, so we know who to hang more responsibility on. That's all we're doing with the law. That's all the law does. Who has time for that nonsense? Let's just exercise a little bit of faith and get deserving of life and be covered in righteousness, and don't worry about what happens to the wall. That's just right. Now, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 4 through 9 says this. This is God. You ready? But God, who is rich in finances, who is rich in crude oil, who is rich, no, but God, who is rich in mercy, because of his great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in trespasses, he made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved, and raised us up together and made us sit in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus, that in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace and his kindness toward us in Christ Jesus. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. Amen. It is the gift of God, not of works. Why can't it be out of works? Because then we would boast, and pride is a pitfall. Amen. And so if he's going to do something, he's going to make a way. He's going to make a way for us in such a way that we can't sit there and get proud of ourselves for arriving. It had nothing to do with us. We had a faith journey, and his faith took us from being in the pit to the kingdom. Amen. I know I'm excited. Bear with me. Wages are works. Grace is faith. It